This story is a story by Jane Yolen. She's one of my very favorite authors. She's a storyteller herself, and she has given permission to tell her stories to every storyteller, as long as you don't change the ending. So this is her story about Janie when she was 4 years old. When Janie was 4 and her baby brother Stevie was brand new, they moved in with Grandma and Grandpa to Virginia. They moved in from the apartment in New York down to the house, just one long block from the bay in Virginia. And Daddy, well, he had been put on a big boat and sailed away to fight the war against Adolf Hitler. What did Janie know about wars? She only knew that her daddy wasn't there. So that year, as they were celebrating Hanukkah, Grandpa, he gave them lots of gelts, the money to play the dreidel with, and Grandma, she gave them presents, and they lit the candles. And as the dreidel went around and round, Janie thought, Gimel, Shin, Nun, Hey. That's what the dreidel should be saying. But all she could think about was missing her daddy. Nobody knew when he would be back. If ever. Someone whispered that when they thought Janie wasn't listening. If ever. Ever. Ever is a really long time. Ever is longer than it took to move down to Virginia from New York. Ever is even longer than it took Stevie to be born. Ever. Ever after. But nobody said happily. And so when they were lighting their candles and everyone else was eating and playing their games, Janie started to cry. She missed her daddy so much. And Grandpa picked her up and said, Janie, your daddy's coming home. Look at the candles on the menorah. When as many months as candles have gone by, there'll be a miracle. Your daddy will come home. Well, Janie counted. 1 month, no daddy. 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, no daddy. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 months, no daddy. She started to sob again, and Grandpa picked her up and said, Janie, why are you crying? Because he had forgotten their Hanukkah conversation, the Hanukkah game from so long ago. And Janie couldn't even tell him. She just cried and cried. But a month later, there was a knock at the door. A man in uniform and a sling was at the door. Grandma and Grandpa opened it and let him in. And Janie saw her daddy. He picked her up with his good arm and he spun her around and around like a dreidel. Grandpa, we forgot the shamash. 9 months, 9 candles. And as she spun around and around and around, she heard it at last. Gimel, Shin, Nun, Hey. In that house, one long walk from the bay. That year, almost a year into that long war, a great miracle happened there, and she never forgot her whole life, ever after, happily. Ever